2020 marks the 30th anniversary of Fire Emblem, and to celebrate, Nintendo has released the Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Edition, which is supposed to pay homage to Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light, which is the original Fire Emblem game. The game has been translated into English with a few extra enhanced features like save states as well as the ability to turn back turns. I'm not going to be doing a deep dive on the game today. I'm mostly interested in this 30th anniversary box package. However, we will be doing a big retrospective on the game in early 2021, so be sure to subscribe if you're interested in catching that. Like I said, we're mostly interested in the contents of this physical box that we're going to be looking into right now. So in the box, you get pretty nice packaging, which we'll get into, but you get a mock copy of what Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light would have looked like had it been released in North America. You get a 200 plus page book, you get a couple posters, and you get a digital copy of the game. Digital copy of the game is a little disappointing, especially for a timed release, which is a really bad practice that Nintendo is doing. You're only going to be able to buy this game digitally, or presumably download it with this package, till the end of March 2021. After that, you are SOL, and I know the game's only a couple megabytes big. I still think a physical Switch cartridge would have gone a long way and is really going to hurt the preservation of this actually pretty solid entry in Fire Emblem. So, let's talk about what we did get, though. First thing I want to talk about is that box that you get. The packaging is actually pretty cool. It's a nice, heavy, sturdy box, and it has this weird foam cardboard thing that separates the NES cart from the book itself, and that NES cart is kind of the first thing I want to go through. This is a fairly true recreation of an NES box, an NES cartridge, and an NES instruction manual. It's pretty much all there. It's pretty much perfect on dimensions. The one difference on dimensions that I'm actually not that upset about is that the manual is, at least from the NES manuals that I have, the manual seems to be a bit larger than they were in previous NES games. That's good, though, because it kind of lets this manual shine. I think manuals are essential for older games. I mean, they were literally made with manuals in mind, and there's not a lot of text explaining with the limited size of these games. So manuals should definitely be by your side. Fortunately, if you are buying the digital edition and could not get your hands on this nice package, then Nintendo has released this manual digitally as a PDF, which will be in a link in the description. However, the manual is actually really cool. I do look forward to playing the game with the manual right by my side, and the cart itself actually impressed me as well. It is pretty cool. It's kind of like a acrylic-y hard plastic cart that it is surprisingly cool, and for anyone with a nice NES collection, it'll look pretty slick there. There's no way to insert it into an NES because the bottom is completely sealed off. It even comes with an NES sleeve, though, which that is kind of cool to see those being made brand new in 2020. And like I said, the box is pretty much perfect on the scale. So yeah, it does really feel like getting an NES game, even though it is literally just a hard, heavy piece of clear, plasticky stuff. But that is the game portion, even though there's no game to be had. Next, we have a couple of posters. We have a poster with a map and some stats on the back, and we have a Nintendo Power poster. These are probably the most underwhelming things for me. However, I guess for some people, I mean, I had Nintendo Power, but I'm not particularly nostalgic about getting a Nintendo Power poster in 2020. They're nice to haves for sure, but definitely not the highlight of the show. I was mostly interested in this piece for the 200 plus page art book, which is a kind of double-edged sword. I ended up kind of appreciating the recreated NES box, manual, and cart more than the book. However, the book is broken up into a couple of nice sections, the first of which is all about the first game in the series. There's a lot of lore, a lot of story to read up on, a lot of maps. I believe those maps that they use are coming from the DS remake of this game. Then there's an art section that goes through a number of games, including some trading card games, and there's a general light history section on Fire Emblem as a whole. The book is pretty interesting. The front third of it that goes over this game, I think, is the most valuable part. There's an alarming amount of Fire Emblem Heroes content. If you're into Fire Emblem Heroes, then you'll probably get a kick out of this book, or the Fire Emblem trading card game, which I guess exists, that I was not aware of. Either way, there's a pretty decent amount of cool art with several Fire Emblem characters. Definitely not all of them, but a decent chunk to kind of dig through. So if you were not able to get one of these, I guess the question is, should you try getting one of these, or should you try getting pieces of these? And I would say if you're an NES collector, then I would definitely consider aiming at getting that cartridge with the box, and it'll look really nice, particularly if you have a boxed NES collection. This will look really cool with that boxed NES collection. Or, I mean, if you're a Fire Emblem diehard, you already have probably tried to get this whole set. I was originally going to suggest getting the manual, but thankfully Nintendo has put a PDF version of the manual up for grabs for everyone, which is awesome. I don't really think the posters are worth picking up personally. Now, that book, I think if you're particularly interested in Shadow Dragon, the Blade of Light, or particularly interested in Fire Emblem Heroes, then the book might be worth picking up on its own. Otherwise, I don't really see a whole lot of value in it. But if you are into this first game, it's definitely worth picking up. Those are my thoughts on Fire Emblem 30th Edition box set. Let me know down below what you guys think, and I hope everyone gets one that wants to. I got really lucky. Let me know down below if you were able to grab one, and throw us a like if you found this helpful. That is all for me, and I will catch you next time.